Okay, today's video, we're going to talk about how to delete a Yelp listing from Google, guaranteed. Every time you can slap me if this is not going to work for you. This is a guaranteed, just like I said, way to get rid of a Yelp 1-star, 2-star, 3-star off of the Google search results. If you want to add Microsoft Bing to the mix, you can add that. Or any really other search engine, which, for the most part, nobody's going to care about, as well, though, as on Yelp search results as well, if you care about that as well, which really obviously doesn't matter that much, but thought I would say it anyway, in case some of you guys care about this as well. In some markets like leak detection, foundation repair, Yelp actually does play a pretty big role in how people, where leads come in those type of markets, because reputation is important and they want to know they're dealing with somebody that's going to get the job done right, because doing it wrong, it's not even about the money, but the potential of not having it, with the further damage could get done if they don't do the job right. Obviously, if you don't detect a leak, you could have $1 million worth of damage on your house down the road, not knowing the leak was there, despite the $300 that they spent. They didn't get their return out of the $300 directly, if you will. So with that said, there is a way to take legal action against Yelp for using their, your copyright on their search results. Or through basically the trademark law and the copyright law. I'm not a lawyer here, so I don't want to, just as a general disclaimer, I may not be wording this exactly correctly here, which it's not important that we get the specifics here done right, just how to get it done. But Yelp, you cannot use somebody else's name and or likeness to make money for somebody who has a copyright or trademark on their brand name, their content, anything like that. And so with that said, if somebody is using it, you can go to them with a takedown request specifically, and they have to remove it. Otherwise, you can sue them. Now, as it applies to Yelp, okay, you can go to Yelp using this legal information and say, hey, you cannot use my listing on your website. And they'll have to modify your brand name on your website itself, which on your actual listing, you can get the brand name modified. They'll keep the listing, but they'll change it so your brand name isn't on there anymore. It'll be like, if your brand name is guaranteed something, it'll be like GUA-R-, so it's not technically there anymore. But also, what you can do is just get your information removed from the search results, because if they're putting your company in their search results at all, they're directly earning from your likeness, because that's how Yelp basically makes their money in becoming, it's an outlet for people. They're aggregating different companies for people that want to hire a company. That's basically how they make their money. So if they put your company in their search results, they're basically monetizing from your copyright, what your brand name information about your company is copyrighted. And so they have a direct process where you can reach out to them, where they, through, because they get these requests all the time, that if you submit the form, basically, that they'll take it off the search results, okay? Which in and itself isn't that useful. But as it comes to Google has the same thing going on. They cannot, because they're monetizing, if you say, Google, I do not want you listed on my search engine, there's a way to get them to take it off, okay? So you do the same thing with them. You go through the form, get a DMCA takedown, and no longer is your company name listed anymore. But as it comes to like Yelp directly here, or any other website. We could be talking about Avo. We could be talking about like reviews on ZocDoc. If they show up problematically when you type in your company name and then like reviews after it, or even just your company name by itself, if you have damning information that's showing up at the bottom or on the first page of the search results on Google, you want to get rid of that because that's going to affect your sales big time. In fact, I'm going to talk about how much it's going to affect your sales. We've seen that your sales can get affected up to 300%. Why do we know that? Because we've gotten it removed. We've gotten these things removed and then saw how much the sales improved after that. So, through seeing how sales improve, we know how much it affects your sales. But so you can actually request from Google to not only just remove your website, but you can indirectly have Google remove the Yelp listing from Google that also says your company name on it. So through a loophole, if you will, you can actually get stuff that you don't want to show up on Google from review sites to get removed from Google. Okay? So that's the general nuts and bolts of it. Now, like I said, now this does not get the listing from Yelp itself removed, it'll completely get de-indexed from the website itself in the search results. And once you can also do the same thing for Google, like I mentioned. Now, the reason why I'm not getting the verbiage here, the legal verbiage here right, is because I understand on a basic level how this is done through DMCA requests. You can get anything on the internet removed that is copyrighted, that you have proof of a copyright. Okay, I do know this. The exact legal reasons and all that, I don't pay attention to it specifically because there's somebody else that I know that specifically understands the exact step-by-step process of getting this removed, and have specifically referred them to the person itself several times now to get this done. And they kind of hide the step-by-step process to some degree, because obviously if they reveal that, then it's easy to do it for yourself. But I understand on a basic level why and how this is possible. And the important thing is I know that it's possible. I've seen the stuff get removed. And so it costs a good deal of money to do this through this individual that I know that has a separate company set up to do this. But it can be totally done and done in any instance, any market, regardless of how bad things are. If you have 5 different bad things on Google that you want removed, you can get them all removed. Each one by themselves is going to cost you money. The big one being, though, that everybody has the most problem with, obviously, is Yelp. And because it has so much domain authority, it's always going to rank high on Google search results. It's hard because obviously your other option is to promote a bunch of stuff to get it ranked on Google, to push the bad stuff down. That's what most people think that they're going to do. With Yelp, it's usually not possible because it's just too strong. It's too authoritative. Yelp's domain is too authoritative, and you're not going to get it pushed down. So in that case, you only have one option, which is to get it removed from the search engine index altogether. And through the guy that I know that does this, you do not have to pay until it's totally off the search results. So if it sounds like BS, what I'm telling you here, what I'm telling you here is BS, fine, come to me, we'll get it removed, and you don't have to pay literally a penny until it's totally gone off of Google completely, no trace of it. And I'm not talking about on the top 10 of Google, I'm talking in the top 100, top 1,000, top million. It's not on the search engine anymore, period, nada, zilch, it's not there anymore. It's totally wiped clean off Google completely. And Microsoft, if you want to add that in there. The cost of this is going to be $400 a month to maintain. I know that sounds like a lot, but a lot of people, when it comes to marketing services, they rely on gut feeling. Ooh, that sounds really expensive. I can't afford it. When really, that's a really dumb way to act. You got to be able to do a proper cost-benefit analysis on certain things to do with marketing your business, for no other reason that the stuff that actually works, people aren't selling it for cheap. They don't need to. There's enough smart people out there that understand its value, they don't need to lower the price. Yet, 90% of the crap that's out there having to do with getting you more sales, it sounds good, and people are out there selling it to people that don't want to use their brains and do a proper cost-benefit analysis on the value of it. They, in PPC services, which is, what we do here at our firm, it's completely true. 90% of the firms out there can't get good results. It doesn't matter though, because it sounds cheap and people think, oh, if it doesn't work, I'm not out that much money. When reality is they're just wasting their time and their money trying to get results when the service that's providing those results had no intention of trying whatsoever to get you those results. They're literally just using your money to go find another client and then do the same thing to them and just do this in an endless chain of clients. And so if you're actually going to get results, you have to pay proper money because it takes proper money to do it. And so when they actually do come across a company that can do it right, it sounds like a shitload of money and they go, oh, it sounds too expensive. When really, that was the cost to do it right in the first place. And you were never going to get it to work paying $300, $400, $500 a month. It's a competition against you and your competitors. Who's going to make the money in your market? Whoever does it the best wins. And if all it took was $300 a month, your competitors would have already been doing it. The ones that are working with a guy in and out of his truck or whatever. So anyway, $400 a month sounds like a lot. You need to understand something right up front. If you have a bad 1 or 2 star Yelp listing showing on the first page of Google, the top 10 results, more so if it's in the top 1 or 2 spots. But even if we're just talking about the top 10 results as a whole, Yelp or Avo or lawyers.com or ZocDoc or any of these industry review sites, if you want to add those, okay, you're going to lose between 10 to 90% basically of your customers just through having that on Google. And it depends on your market. We've had people who were in data repair. Like if you have a hard drive that fails and you have data on that hard drive and you need to get the data back because it's worth tons of money to you, you send your hard drive into these companies that will harvest the data off of it and send it into you in a file through the internet so you don't lose that data. In that type of market, if you get a 1-star review that shows up on Google from Yelp, you might as well shut down your whole damn business because it ain't going to work no more. And in that case, you're losing 90% of your business because every person, virtually speaking, that hires somebody in that market is going to check your company out at least a little bit before they buy. They're not just going to randomly pick a company. Okay, good, whatever. No, because they know if that data is not coming off the hard drive, they're losing tons of money. So 90% of the business, maybe a little bit of an embellishment in that market. But what I do know is basically most of the business was gone and they just had to shut down their entire business and start up a whole new business because that one thing took them out completely. They could not sell anymore, virtually speaking. They could get leads, but before they bought, they just wouldn't buy because of that review. And there's no talking your way out of it. There's nothing you're going to tell your salespeople they're going to talk their way out of it. Oh, it's a rogue customer, blah, blah, blah. Nobody believes that. Whether it's even if a competitor does it to you, it doesn't matter. People believe what's on Yelp still nowadays. Naturally, as a business owner, you know it's bullshit. Customers don't know it's bullshit if they don't run a business. So you don't have any choice in a market like that to get rid of it. With that said, okay, now if you're in a market where like you're doing traditional e-commerce, where you're selling protein powder or something like that, you're going to be losing more so like 10% of your sales if you have something like that show up on the first page of Google. But it's still there, okay? So a lot of people aren't going to put their $200 order through until they go and quickly Google the company and see if there's anything scathing that it's there. So, and we know this again because we have referred several people, specifically we had somebody in the diet space selling diet products. That one's obviously a little bit more dicey because people don't trust it quite as much as something like let's say if you sold protein powder. But in that particular case, 15% of the sales reappeared suddenly once we were able to get the company off that Yelp, one-star Yelp listing off of their Google search results when you typed in their brand name as well as their brand name plus review or reviews. Referred them to this particular individual, got it removed, sales. And the good thing about this, the sales come back instantly, like it should. Once it's gone, people stop at the last minute when they're going to go check the company out right before they put that big order through. They're not going to see it anymore. Your sales should come back. So you're talking about 10% basically on the low side. Even if you're selling something that is innocuous like the protein powder, whether you're selling pottery wheels where people mostly just trust you anyway, you're still going to get hit. Even if you're selling, cheap items itself. We had people, a guy that also sold decals had the same problem. We cleaned up the search results. It was more than one site in that particular instance, more than just Yelp. But right away, their conversion rate on their traffic they had coming into the website from their Google Ads campaigns immediately improved as soon as we were able to clean each one of those individual things up. We got something like 8 to 10% of a sales or a conversion rate lift once we actually got that fixed. Okay? If you're talking about anything in the professional services space, forget it. You're going to be losing half of your clients from the ad traffic that you're driving in. We're talking about ad traffic where they don't know you from anybody else. If you have something on the first page in the top 5 that's got a 1-star review on it, or even 2-star. In this particular case, it was 1-star again. A divorce attorney, which so many of those attorneys have this, by the way, because nobody who gets good results from a divorce attorney leaves a review. Only people that are pissed leave a review, as you probably know, because they don't want to air out their dirty laundry like that. But the lawyer is, basically said, "Is there absolutely anything we can do to fix this?" And I said, "Do I know?" I've known about this trick for a few years now, but specifically in that case, it's night and day difference. The conversion rates obviously aren't affected in terms of rate of clicks into turning into a lead isn't affected because you don't need to know that much about a company to turn into a lead. It's when you're going to close that matters. They check at the last second. That last minute sale gets lost if you have a 1-star review. So basically, the amount of cases that were closing, the closing rate almost doubled when we got all the 1-star review off of Yelp or off of Google. When and after he had used this service. The service, by the way, takes about 2 to 3 weeks in order for the Yelp listing to get removed. So whereas you aren't paying anything before it gets removed, you're only going to have to wait 2 or 3 weeks for it to get removed, and then you're good. And then it stays off permanently, assuming you keep paying that fee. You never have to worry about it again. Those sales that you got back, you're going to get them back forever. Okay? And with that, as I mentioned, I would seriously consider this, though, even if you don't have a 1-star, even if you have a 2-star or a 3-star, because there's also, we know in the restaurant space, another instance where somebody had a 2.5-star rating, just a 2.5-star rating. We're not even talking about a 1-star rating here, which you hit with a 1-star, you're really getting hit. And clearly, the lower the star and the more the review sites that are giving you a 1, 2, or 3-star, the more it's going to affect your sales. But even then, the amount of actual foot traffic, and the amount of sales revenue that they had, given that This ice cream shop, you're not going to be able necessarily, if you're going to be searching for that on a regular basis, to come in and find a new ice cream shop. And this was in a vacation or touristy spot, so there's a lot of people that are going to be searching for this. Is it just repeat business that, people in the media area just come in, which there's obviously some of that. But even then, foot traffic, amount of sales went up around 20% once that was wiped off of Google as well. So, and naturally in that particular market, not seeing it on the Yelp search results also helped as well. Because what do you do in a restaurant context? You're for sure going to search for it on Google or on Yelp, on the search results there as well. Oh, they're not there. Practically speaking, if you can't search it on Yelp, even though the profile's there, the listing's there, you're not going to be able to find it. It's like it doesn't exist anyway. So if you have a problem with Yelp, getting it removed from the search results essentially makes it gone by default, or it's gone there, practically speaking, as if it never existed in the first place. So whether you have a restaurant, whether you have even a 3-star, this is probably worth it for you to do. I want to say 2.5 star or less. I'm for sure doing this. I don't care what company I have, because it's always going to pay off. Yes, you may not like the fact that you have to pay this, but just do the math. If you get a 10% increase in productivity of your advertising that you're doing because this is gone, even if you have to pay 2 or 3 different individual $400 a month services for each different individual website that you have bad reviews showing up on Google, you do it, because there's no scenario where saving $400 a month to not gain 10% at least more sales from your advertising is going to not be worth it, unless you're spending like $10 a day on advertising. And in that case, yeah, maybe it makes sense. But even then, you got your Google organic traffic, you got other traffic sources as well, and you have to also consider that. Unless you're going to get business to referral only, you don't advertise. It doesn't. You want to get all this stuff cleaned up, and even with that referral business, just because you got a referral doesn't mean that's a lock. They're still going to check you out before they go ahead and buy. A lot of the times, maybe not in every case, but it's not zero either. So just take my word for it that if you don't think that thing affects you that much, go ahead and get it removed and see for yourself. But not only that, you should get it removed, and you should put a policy in place to actually rack up positive reviews, given that people don't like leaving you positive reviews. And there's an easy way to get positive reviews if you just know the system. I've got a whole separate video that you can watch. Go to my channel homepage and search for how to get positive reviews, where you can just systematically get positive reviews, which, by the way, just goes something like, you wait until they are getting the end result of whatever you're delivering. You ask them for a review. If that would be okay, they're going to say yes. They're not going to leave it. You follow up with them later on saying, hey, was there some issue with the link that I sent you? And you keep doing that until they leave the review. And you pay, if you're not the one dealing with the person directly, you pay your sales staff $50 for every positive review you get, which a lot of you guys are going to say, oh, I can't pay that. If you don't pay them that, they're not going to really bother with it that much. You're not going to get that many positive reviews, and your positive reviews aren't going to skyrocket. You pay $50 a review, they are going to skyrocket. And then naturally, any of the advertising you have, along with on the negative side, like we were talking about, if you get from 2-digit number of reviews to 3-digit, there's a directly measurable increase in the conversion rates on the traffic you get from the advertising you get. We know that because we've measured that before. I've got a whole separate video on going from 2 digits to 3 digits number of reviews, 3 digits to 4 digits, as well as the average review score that you have, whether that be 3, 4, 5. We did an audit on all of our clients to see how much of a difference this would make, because we wanted to know. Also, we wanted to be able to come to our client and say, hey, we're getting this. You're complaining about your results, so to say, which it's not like this happens all the time, but you're complaining about your results. However, you got a 3-star here, and if you pump this up to a 5, instead of getting $25,000 a month in sales, you're going to have 40. you need to get a system in place to pay $50 a review for every review that your staff gets or that is responsible for, and you need to give them a structured process to follow, given that's what's going to get you the best result. So you use this process to get rid of the negative, and then you go ahead and you get stuff on the positive side going. To get positive reviews, you also do some PR to get stuff to show up on the first page that is positive in terms of paid articles, stuff like that. Then you've got a great defense set up for your business. You're not going to be that one-off negative review you get. It's no longer going to really affect you anymore. You can, it'll just get, this general sentiment of what they see when they go to Google. It won't affect you, at least very much right away. So Yelp, though, is just obviously its own beast, because if you try to leave positive reviews on Yelp, many times it'll go to the non-recommended, which is why you're only left with the option to use a service like I'm mentioning to get rid of it and just wipe it off of Google completely. If you have any questions on, and just to sum this up, if you need to use this service, obviously you can reach out to me at my firm at guaranteeppc.com. I'll let you know how to get hooked up with the person who does this, and go ahead and get it done. And within the next 30 days, you can have it totally gone off of Google. With that said, I'll wrap it up with that. If you have any questions about anything I covered, or any other ad-related question for that matter, you can easily ask me in the comment section. I usually get back to everybody who leaves me a comment in the comment section, usually within 24 hours time, using my 15 years of ad experience and internet marketing experience to go along with it to put you on the right track with what you're doing as best as I can. I do that just as a way to say thank you for watching the channel and helping the channel grow. Beyond that, if you are looking for great other information other than what I provide on this channel to you, we also have a blog. I have a blog that I write on my site at guaranteeppc.com/blog, where I've got literal step-by-step techniques that you can use having to do with running ads for your business that will make you money every time, that we use to guarantee results for our clients. Step by step, with screenshots, everything that you would need to replicate the results for yourself. If you like the channel, you're going to love my blog even more, as most people usually do. You should check that out as well. If you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, you absolutely should, as the information I'm providing you on this particular channel is coming straight from the source, if you will. That is 40 hours a week. My sole job is to figure out what works with ads and what doesn't, so we can apply them to our clients' accounts that we have at our agency. I'm the key leading strategist at our PPC agency. This is what I do 40 hours a week. And with that, if not basically all the information you're going to find easily online about running ads is coming from somebody who's trying to make money off of YouTube or sell courses or whatever. They're not really running ads like you think that they lead you on to think that. They're not really running ads. Or if they are, it's a couple ads. They're not managing and running strategy on 50 different accounts at once like I'm doing at my agency here. So therefore, the information's not nearly as good. Or they don't run any ads. They run an agency but don't touch any ads themselves. Or this information is third, fourth hand information. So if you want serious information that'll help you make literally millions of dollars running ads for your business, this is the channel that's going to give you the most relevant information straight from the source, from somebody who does it full time and just has a channel on the side to talk about what I find. And therefore, you should subscribe, and you should subscribe now. As I mentioned, I run an ad agency, Guarantee PPC. It's called Guarantee PPC because we literally guarantee your PPC results. That is, until you get more profit from your ads, from our service up front, there is no fee that you have to pay our agency. There is no catch other than we got to know we can get great results with your campaigns and your company before we take on you as a client. If you want to see if you could be our client, you can reach out to me at guaranteeppc.com. I'd be happy to give you a free assessment and estimate, 8-quarter estimate, as to how much sales results and additional profit we can bring your company on guarantee, and so on and so forth. And we'd be happy to be able to offer that to you. So you can reach out to me at my firm for that. Similar to that, if you're not looking to work with an ad agency, many people aren't, but if we've worked in your niche market before, we can actually provide you the ad templates, campaign templates, landing page templates that work for your niche market, in which we've gotten the results and in which we can tell you what results we've gotten. So you can literally, if you want, copy and paste the exact results that we're getting in your market in a different geographic area to your account and get the same results we are with none of the work, none of the time, none of the money that we had to spend to figure out how to get those same results in your market in a different area, which naturally doesn't matter what you're doing. It's all fair game. As long as you're not operating in the same geographic area as our client, different country or whatnot, you can use the templates that we have to get results in a different area in your area, and it doesn't affect our client, and you can win from it as well. Which, by the way, if you wanted to start an e-commerce business that's almost sure to work, basically that's what you're going to do, is you're going to take our template to sell an item you can easily get from China in a different country than our client is in, and you're going to have turnkey results. Same thing if you wanted to start a business, have a business idea, passive income business idea, sorry. You can actually also start a lead generation business with one of our ad templates that sells, where you sell leads in a certain niche area of business like plumbing. Given our templates are going to generate rock bottom lead costs in an area like plumbing that we've operated in for years and spent millions of dollars worth of ad spend and testing to figure out what exactly works the best in that space, you can sell leads to other plumbers and have basically a really good passive income business set up selling leads to people in that local market that you're in or whatnot. But if you're interested in an opportunity like that, you can also reach out to me at Guarantee PPC. But I'll wrap everything up with that. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in my next video where we'll have another great strategy for you then. See you later.